Hello, everybody. Welcome back to As the Crow Flies 144. It's me, Dale. And today we're going to talk about the three rules for life. That if you use these three rules, everything else falls underneath them. Okay. So we don't have to get more specific than that. Okay. And I want to say a shout out to my friend Ken, because every time I wear this shirt, I think of him because he is a runner. Okay. And he changed his world with that, and he changed the lives of many, many other people. And I would say that, like, these three rules of life apply to him. So I think that you were a subscriber at one point. If you still are, hey, what's up? Give me a thumbs up today. All right. Just so I know you don't have to like say anything in the comments, but hopefully you'll give a thumbs up. So let's talk about these three rules. Um, Okay. I keep thinking of a story, so let me just say that story. All right. My son wanted a haircut, and we go through this over and over again. So I cut all my children's hair. And I don't always do a great job. I often wish, like actually every single time I give them a haircut, I'm like, I just wish I could do it better. I wish I had the training, but there's really no better training than like trying something, doing it, and then figuring out what went wrong, and then going to look for solutions. Okay, because if you're just learning everything all at once, you don't understand how things apply. Okay, so this is why partially the education system is so broken. And I didn't plug in my microphone, so let's plug it in and see if it makes a difference. Okay, all right. So so I my son just got done with his musical, and he was trying to tell me like he wanted his hair a little bit shorter on the sides because he likes it a certain way. So I kind of like double verified with him, like, okay, so you want it this way, right? And he he said yes. And then what I try to do is like do the haircut away from a mirror, so only I am looking at them, so they don't like stop and get distracted and they're looking at themselves or whatever. But so I thought I was like short on the sides, and I'm thinking sort of like a faux hawk mullet. Okay, sort of, not, like sort of shaved down on the sides. Um, and if you look at the new Crow movie, or you even just like look at trailers and things of it or pictures, it looks very much like Eric's hair in it. And oh my gosh, it looked so cool on my son because I did it. And then he looks at it and his face just like dropped. It was not what he wanted at all. And I was like, bro, you look so cool. Like it was just like this messy but awesome look. I wish I would have gotten some pictures of him. Not that I would like show the internet, but I want to show you that this sort of like violated one of my rules, okay? Because um all right. So, as within, so without. Okay. So, sometimes what's going on inside you is reflected on the outside. So, because like this movie is so important to me and I think it's so cool, I think that I can just transition my son into the same beliefs that I have. Okay. But if I did and if that worked, then he would have been happy. But if we look at, the everyone is right rule, like I was right because I verified with him that I knew what he wanted, okay, but also based on his reaction, I was not right, but he was still, he was right in his own mind of what he wanted. But obviously we had like cross communications in a way because I've asked him before, like, just show me a picture of what you really want. And he showed me in person of like, see this is how I like my hair. And so I thought that he liked his hair because that was like a week prior to yesterday, or whatever day it was that I cut it 2 days ago. And so I was like, okay, well, if he still wants it cut from the point at which he told me that he liked it, which was just recently, then he must want it shorter. So I'm trying to like verify with him. We're speaking the same language, we're talking about the same thing, and yet somehow I didn't end up giving him what he wanted. And that was because the golden rule, treat others as you wish to be treated. It was like, I guess you know, it's like that's where there was a problem because if I had treated him like he wanted to be treated, then I would have. This might be a little bit obscure because it's not like hitting the nail on the head, but this is like an example of how something went wrong. Okay. And if I had been following these rules, then I would I would have been closer to getting him to what he wanted instead of like disappointing him, making him feel bad, making me feel bad because I ended up with something that I really liked, but it was on him. So it wasn't right for him. And this in your communications with people, you have to understand how they communicate, not how you communicate. And that is how you treat others, how you want to be treated. It's like learn their language. It's not a different language, right? It's a different way of communicating because language is all made up. You have to understand that if we didn't have language, we could all communicate no matter where we are in the world or what people we would easily be able to communicate because we'd be using our judgment for survival skills, which is like what we do. We just use it with our own internal communication based on like what we feel about ourselves, all the experiences that we've had. And then we oftentimes like don't communicate honestly because we have to filter everything, okay, to make sure that it's right. If you are in honest communication and you treat everybody as if they are right, then you ask questions instead of just talking at them about how they are wrong, okay? So that's the filter that you need to use. It's like if you don't agree with them or you know that something that you say might not jive with what they think and feel, it's like then you need to communicate through questions of asking why and not condescending and not in a condescending way, because sometimes that's, I would say the overarching theme of like when I communicate with people and they seem to not like me, it's because they think I'm being condescending instead of honest. They think I'm being like sarcastic or that I'm asking them why because they're supposed to like prove that what they feel and do is right because I think that they're wrong. And so if you understand that we're all like that these are my three rules of life when I'm communicating with people, then you would understand me a lot better instead of trying to like, I refer to it as like peeling off the layers of an onion. So when you're used to communicating with people, you're used to them filtering things for you, or like if it's your boss or if you're a boss and you're trying to talk to your subordinates, you're like sort of like bouncing around the real truth of what you want to say of like you fucked up and how could you do it this way, you know that that's not the way that we're supposed to do things, right? So instead of that you have to figure out when you're speaking to each other back and forth, it's like you have to peel off the layers of communication to get to the truth of what you think that they're saying. Well, when I speak the truth and people are trying to peel off layers of communication, then they are like misinterpreting what I'm saying. And then they're like, I feel like just people are totally comfortable with me when we are in communication together. And then after that, they're like, I don't really know how to take that all in because I don't think that, like what she's saying the truth about, what she not saying the truth about. And then they just like don't really know how to communicate with me or they just don't, and people like I don't overthink it because we are all stuck in our own lives of stuff going on, right? If you have a cell phone, your life is moving way faster than it used to. Okay. So I'm gonna pause just for a minute, see like what kind of things, if there's anything that I need to say. Let me just pause. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to get straight to it. But first of all, I want to say that I hope you got to see the moon this morning. And I love the path that the moon takes because I've said it before, like I sleep on my couch. It just makes me feel most comfortable. Okay. So when the moon goes over after like midnight, it comes in the window, like which is near where I'm sleeping. And so oftentimes when it's close to a full moon, I don't get to sleep well because the moon is like shining in at me and I love to just kind of like look at it, right? And the moon, she's a woman, so if I refer to her as a she, it's because like in Spanish it's La Luna, I think, and La is for feminine. And I think it's Al-Nur in Arabic, and that's also feminine. There's like the sun and the moon, and Al-Nur is that's how all the words are classified in Arabic, is like, is it a masculine or a feminine word? And so we base it all on the sun. If it's a sun word, then that's masculine. If it's a moon word, then it's feminine. But anyway, so I was saying previously that the moon, it's just, I guarantee you that if you have technological device in your hand or you're like driving and stuck in your thoughts and you see the moon, you're going to like stop everything to watch. And that is like the beauty of feminine energy, is that like everybody will stop and pay attention to like a beautiful woman that's walking by, right? And so that's the beauty of your own feminine energy within. All right. So if you're not seeing a beautiful world on the outside, it's because you're not activating your feminine energy within. And so that's where we lead straight into this. Okay. And I have them in this order for a very specific purpose because as within, so without. So when you open your eyes for the day, the things that you are seeing are a reflection of what's going on inside of you. So as soon as you step outside your door and you start interacting with the world, it's a reflection of what's going on inside of you. Okay. So if you think that you are a generally good person, but in your waking, walking day, you're seeing ugly things like that you determine ugly. If you see people that you don't get along with, but you're seeing them sort of as an enemy, it's like because you have an enemy within you that's working against you and your beauty. Okay. So if you approach everything that you see in your day as being a reflection of yourself and you have like really mean people in your environment, it's because you have a really mean person inside of you that is working against you and judging other people harshly. We should be proud of people and supporting people who are doing anything that is not what we are doing, okay, because they are affecting our lives at some point. It's like if you're pissed off at a cop for pulling you over, okay, well then don't speed or don't do things that are going to get you caught up in that. But they are doing something that is helping to keep your world safe, regardless of how you feel about them. All right. If you see construction workers or like in the road, and you're pissed off because they're in the way of you getting to work on time. It's like if you space your day out to where you have plenty of time to drive to work, then you don't have to worry about that thing. Okay. Do you have enough self respect to get yourself to all the places that you need to go without worrying that you have to be in a rush because, oh shit, you forgot to get gas and you have to gas up your car in the morning, which I'm just saying that because I have to do that this morning. But I already have plans on when I'm going to do that. So it doesn't interrupt. Okay. So it's like, but these people who seem to be in your way and then you get pissed off at and you do something stupid in your car and they don't like it, they look back at you in a way that you can tell that they're like cussing you out in their head. It's all a reflection of stuff going on inside of you that you don't like. So when I talk about these people, um they are direct reflections of improvement that is going on and more love that's going on inside of myself, more acceptance. Okay, because then you get to see it. It's like then you get to take credit for that when you meet people in your environment and they're just lighting up your world and you're lighting up their world. And if it's even just for a second, these are soul bonded people that they are your soulmates. Okay. It's not like you just have one soulmate. It's that everybody that you have an interaction with that create some sort of difference in your life, even if it's just like your cashier or whatever, these are your soulmates because there's 8.5 billion people in the world. You're never going to meet all of them. Okay. But we don't do anything alone. A man is not an island. We interact with everybody. And all this money that you make out there that you think is like you've earned it, it's only because you had to interact with somebody who hired you for a job. And it's like, when I was talking about having my $100 stolen from PayPal through Apple services for services that are not mine because I have no Apple products, it's like, hang on one second. All the people that I had to interact with in order to like get that process going on, it's like I might not ever get my $100 back, but that is why I have this like channel to reach out to you to say, like, hey, do you want to help me correct some injustices in the world? You can make a difference, okay? And it's not for nothing. You can like book some time with me, okay? Or I'm going to be putting an Amazon wish list together because that's more fun for me. It's like I would rather have you get these gifts that I want. And then you gift me with something that I want that ultimately if you give me money, I'm going to spend it on all these things that are responsible and I have to do this thing. And like I can make my ends meet that way anyway. What I would rather have you do is get me something from my wish list because it's what I want. It's like, um, and then I give you like a free tarot reading or something like that. So I will be creating these things and it doesn't matter. I do this channel as if I'm talking to like everybody and it's huge because what I want is for my message to be spread to the maximum amount of people possible, but in a way that I'm comfortable with, which is in the room that I'm in. I have created value for this home that I have hated for so long because I feel like it's so frustrating for all of the things that I have loved and put my time and energy into. I don't get to have any of that stuff. I don't have like equity in any of the things that I have invested in because I lost all my stuff because of how people were treating me. And though I can't be mad at them because they are a reflection of as without, so within, right? It's because I wasn't valuing myself. But now by doing this, it's like when people come over and they see, like, so this is the real deal, this is the background. It's like instead of feeling like shame for living in a trailer, it's like I have increased the value of this place just by what I am doing in it. Okay. So I know it seems silly, but it's like I know how we are as humans. And so I have learned without knowing it how to increase value in my entire life without really changing anything about it other than the fact that like I'm not afraid to be honest with who I am and where I'm at right now. Okay. So let's just move on to number two, which is everyone is right. And that is as without, so within. So everybody, all these soul bonds that you're drawing into, you have to realize that they are right because you drew them in, you magnetize them to you because they're on the same frequency with you. Okay. So it's not that you have to believe what they're believing, it's that you have to not fight with everybody in your surrounding environment, because all it is, it's a reflection of an internal battle that's going on within yourself. So if you're trying to get to know yourself better and you're trying to have a better world and just like have better action interactions day to day, when you think that, okay, everyone is right, and that might feel so annoying to you, like, how in the world could this person be right? It's like, then be curious. Just treat everybody. That's like treat others as you wish to be treated. This is what is going on. That if you're drawing in people that you don't get along with, it's because this is kind of how you wish to be treated because you've been shamed by other people in your life. Okay. Those voices are now sitting in your subconscious. And you know this to be true because, especially if I've told you that your brain gets imprinted by the age of 7 for all the things that you need to know to live an adult human life. That's it. It's been proven. Go and look into hypnosis, go and look into neuroplasticity of like how you have to learn how to change those things because you are imprinted by broken people and broken systems. Okay. So there is part of you that wishes to be treated this way. That if you are going out and you are like being kind of rude to the people around you, and then they react rudely to you, and you guys are just ego to ego defending yourself, you're not looking at number two, which is that everyone is right. And so you have to realize that people are treating you the way that you wish to be treated. Okay. So I have been in real destructive relationships and I only blame that on myself. It's because this ugliness existed within me that I was just criticizing myself so harshly for things that I really couldn't control. It's like I have this lipedema. I cannot lose weight the way that I want to, because if I could, like if you were doing the same things that I was doing, trust me, you would be like a superhero, okay? Because I have just like worked out like crazy, broken bones in my body, given myself arthritis because my body does not work the same. And there is something deeply internal going on that it won't let me have what I want because I don't feel safe yet. Now, some of that stuff can come from past lives, and past lives have been proven through regression through hypnosis. That was actually how they were discovered, was that they were trying to get back into a child, the person's life as a child, and instead they popped out and went into a past life. Okay, so I will read you books on hypnosis. The further that I get into structuring this channel and creating classes and things like that. But I want to wrap this message up. So if I didn't cover everything that I wanted to, I at least have to have this sunk in within your mind, okay? That if you are not the best of yourself in this world with every interaction that you have, regardless of what you think of the people around you, then everything that happens to you is a reflection of how you feel inside of yourself. And you are reflecting it externally by the way that you interact with everybody, including how you drive. Just give people a wave. I don't care if they are there to see it. I don't care if they're paying attention. Just be good to people because you want that reflected back on you. Okay. As without, so within. Give yourself 3 days. I like to think of like 333 as this sacred number because it's like, however you're feeling today, whatever is going on today, in 3 days from now, it's going to be totally different. So don't react so quickly. All right. Just sit with it for 3 days and move on to other things and like direct your energy into something else. If you want to be mean to somebody, go and work out. Go and work out. Put some effort into your own body because you need to be a little bit angry in order to get a good workout, in order to push through things that you don't feel like doing. Okay. So take that energy and recycle it within yourself. And you are going to feel so much better after that workout. You are not going to feel like being mean to people afterwards. All right. Um, so practice this, everyone is right, and start out with the people closest to you. You have people in your very close environment, whether you have a partner or children or parents or somebody, coworkers that you're interacting with, just change your mindset before you say anything else to them. Just assume that whatever they're saying is right, okay? Even if it pisses you off, don't react in the pissed off way. Just try to react in a little bit lighter way, okay? And just ask them, why does this system work best for you? Okay. Um, and then treat others as you wish to be treated. And that's exactly it. That if you don't vibe with somebody, just ask them the question in a pleasant way, because you would like it if somebody would do that to you instead of just completely misunderstanding you, misjudging you, talking shit about you behind your back because they can't talk shit to your face or ask you questions because you're so like defensive about it. Just practice these things, okay? The third one, it's the golden rule. It's gold. What is more valuable? I don't There's probably things that are more valuable, but just treat each other as gold. I'm going to sign off for today. I love you. I'm sure there's things I missed out on, but just let me think about it real quick, real quick. Okay. I tried to think about it and there was just like no noise in my head. And that is not normal. Normally there's like 100 things being said. So that is it for today. I love you. I will see you next time I come on here. All right. Have a great day. Treat others as you wish to be treated. Okay. I love you. Bye.